Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Voices of British Orthodoxy. Today is the 7th of September, as according to the old calendar. I'm, of course, Rita Laswell. Welcome to Voices of British Orthodoxy. Today is the fourth feast of, the Nativity of the Theotokos, which we celebrate tomorrow, so do not forget to go to Divine Liturgy tomorrow. And, also, today we have three saints in the book and one extra one in the group chat. Our first entry for today is Saint Elkmund, and he is from the 8th century. Saint Elkmund was consecrated 7th Bishop of Hexham in Northumberland on the 24th of April, 767, and remained in that see until his repose on the 7th of September, AD 781. We know little of his life, but the historical record shows he was greatly venerated at Hexham. St. Alkmund was buried next to St. Acca, who we will commemorate on the 20th of October, near the east wall of the cathedral at Hexham. About 2.5 centuries later, all memory of St. Alkmund and his tomb seems to have been lost. However, it is related by the 12th century English chronicler and monk at Durham Priory, Simeon of Durham, that St. Alkmund appeared to Dragmo, a resident of Hexham, urging him to tell Alfred, the sacristan of Durham, to have St. Alkmund's relics translated to a more honourable place within the church. Alfred approached the priest at Hexham with this information, and they began the process of translation of the relics. However, unknown to anyone else, Alfred took a finger from the relics to bring back to Durham. This caused the saint's relics to become immovable by any man or group of men. St. Elman appeared again that night to Dragmo, showing him his hand with the missing finger, informing him that until the missing bone was replaced, it would be impossible to move his body. Dragmo told the congregation the next day of his visitation, and the sacristan, prostrating himself, revealed that he had taken the finger and begged forgiveness. He then returned the missing finger, and the clerics who were present were able, without any effort, to lift the holy body and transfer it to the church. Hexham Cathedral was sacked again in AD 1154, and again restored to the relics of the Hexham saints, including Alkmund, were placed in a single shrine. However, the church and shrine did not survive a border raid by the Scots in AD 1296, and both were completely destroyed. His group chat entry, I believe, is a lot shorter. St. Alkmund of Hexham, 7th Bishop of Hexham in England, 781, in brackets. St. Elkmund succeeded Frithebert as Bishop of Hexham in 767, and governed the diocese with a high reputation for holiness of life and vigilance in his pastoral office. He reposed in the Lord in 781 and was buried by the side of St. Acca, one of his holy predecessors. Our next entry for today is St. Balin, also known as Balanus and Bulwine, and he is from the 7th century. St. Balin is commonly believed to have been the brother of St. Gerald, who is commemorated on the 13th of March, and one of the 4 sons of an Anglo-Saxon king. Along with his brothers, St. Balin accompanied St. Colman of Lindisfarne, who we commemorated back on the 18th of February, to Iona. They then went to Ireland, where they settled at Saxon, the House of the Saxons, in the diocese of Tuam, in the province of Connaught. Saint Balanus, bracket 7th century, brother of St. Gerald and one of the 4 sons of a noble in England. After accompanying St. Colman of Lindisfarne to Iona in Scotland, he and his brothers went to Connaught in Ireland, and settled at Saxon, the House of the Saxons, near Tuam. Our next saint of the day is Saint Tilbert, also known as Gilbert, and he is from the 8th century. Saint Tilbert succeeded Saint Alkmund, who we literally just read, as Bishop of Hexham in Northumbria, England, serving from AD 781 until his repose in AD 789. He was widely venerated as a saint during his lifetime, as well as after his repose. Saint Tilbert, bracket Gilbert, Bishop of Hexham in Northumbria in England, 789. And then we have a bonus entry in the book, which is for Saint Grimonia, also known as Germana, and she's a holy virgin from Ireland, martyred in Picardy in defense of her virtue. She refused to marry as she was called to virginity, and she is from the 4th century. I don't actually know where Picardy is, or why her entry's not actually in the book, but... Anyway, may those saints intercede for us before the righteous judge. Before I do leave you, I do have one announcement, as you can probably guess. If you're watching in a year that's not 2025, or if for whatever reason you're watching this after the, I guess, the 1st of December 2025, then you don't really need to watch this part. You can if you want, but the video is effectively over if you wish. Anyway, with the blessing of His Grace, Bishop of London and Great Britain and Ireland, Master Nectarius, we have the honour of hosting the wonder-working Cursed Lodge icon of the Most Holy Theotokos. This icon is very famous. Many wonders have been walked through it. I always mention this, but one of the bigger / more famous Orthodox Discord servers used to be dedicated to this. It'll be coming to St. Lazar's, which is the Serbian Orthodox Church of the Holy Prince Lazar in Birmingham, also known as Lazaritsa, also known as St. Lazar's. If you type in any of those into Google, followed by Birmingham, UK, you probably should find something. Sunday, 30th November, solemn reception of the icon, 6 p.m. And then on Monday, the 1st of December, we have a Divine Liturgy at 8:30 a.m. Anyway, I do thank you all for watching. I have been Reader Lazar. I hope you all have a wonderful day. God bless you all. And Amen.